Chapter 36. It was a lovely, perfect evening as I kicked the row of soccer balls into the net one by one. I really was starting to like Arizona. The constant sunshine, the smell of orange blossoms in the air, the soft green grass I walked on barefoot whenever I could, and the beautiful sunsets. I gazed up at the evening sky after I kicked the last ball into the net. It looked like it had been painted with watercolors of pink, orange, and purple. I sighed. "Nice work, Green," Coach Fuller called. I ran over to Jessica and we worked on moving the ball back and forth between us as the other girls took their turns at the net. "We're going to have a kickoff party at my house this weekend," Jessica said. "Want to come?" "Yeah," I said. "What should I bring?" Jessica paused with her foot on the ball. "How about some soda?" "Okay, and do you think you might be able to come to the festival?" "Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure most of the team is planning on it." "Great job today, girls," Coach Fuller said. I checked the watch around my ankle. "Wow, that flew by. I guess I'll see you tomorrow." Jessica looked past me and didn't answer. I turned around when I heard a bark and spotted Connor standing on the edge of the field. "Is he your friend?" she asked. Connor raised his hand in a wave and I smiled. "Yeah," I said, "he's my best friend." She kicked the ball to me as she grinned and raised her eyebrows. "He's cute," she said, and ran off to join the other girls headed to the locker room. I let out a breathy laugh and walked over to Connor. I stopped about 3 feet from him. "Hi." "Hi." He looked down at his feet, then back up at me. "You made the soccer team." "Yeah, I did." "And you made a new friend." He gestured toward Jessica, still walking back to the locker room with everyone else. I glanced at her and then turned my attention back to Connor. "Yeah." I studied the painful look on his face. "But I miss my old friend." Connor smiled and shrugged his shoulders. "Where have you been?" I asked. "Just home. I decided I was never coming back to school." "What made you change your mind?" "You," he said, "and my mom. She told me to get my butt out of bed yesterday. I thought she was going to drive me to school, but instead she called into work and we spent the day together." "You did?" Connor nodded. "Yeah, we even went out for dinner." "Seriously? In a real restaurant?" "Yeah, well, sort of. We got takeout and ate it in the park, but still." "But still," I said, "it's a great start." We stood there awkwardly for a moment. "Guess what?" "What?" he said. "Josephine, the lady who works in the steakhouse, she's my grandmother." His mouth hung open. "What?" I nodded. "Yeah, she's Joe Kavanaugh. She's the one who hired my parents." "Why?" "She said she wanted to meet me and make sure I was okay." "So who's the girl in the picture?" "My birth mother." "What happened to her?" "She died," I said, surprised to feel the knot in my throat, surprised at how much I wished I could have known her. "I'm sorry, Avon." "Josephine gave me up because she didn't think she should care for me. I guess she thought she was doing the best thing for me." "I'm sure that's what she thought at the time," Connor said, "but obviously she regretted it to have you brought out here." "Well, if she thinks she can just have a relationship with me after all this time, she's mistaken." I dug my cleat into the ground. "Of course," Connor said. "She must be a terrible person." "Well, I don't..." Connor grinned at me, and I narrowed my eyes at him. "I see what you're trying to do here. I don't think I'm ready to forgive her for abandoning me." "She didn't exactly leave you in a cave in the desert, Avon." "How old is she?" 83. "So she was 70 when you were born. I bet she was thinking, 'Holy cow pie, I'm going to be near 90 by the time that baby here graduates high school. She'll have to push me in my wheelchair to the ceremony. That's going to be hard to do with her feet.'" "Your Texas accent is awful." "You get my point," he said. "Maybe I do, maybe I don't." I smiled at the ground, kicking at the dirt with my cleat. "Everything is really coming together for the festival. I think it's going to be a big success." "Everything you do will be a big success, Avon." My cheeks flushed at the compliment. "I'm just sorry you're not going to be there." I looked up at him. "It won't be the same without you." "I'll think about it, okay?" he said. "That's the best I can do right now." Then I guess I'll have to accept it. We stood there quietly for a moment. My mom's going with me to the next meeting, Connor said. Oh, that's so great. Do you want to come with us? He frowned. I'm sure Dexter would love to have you there. I'd love to be there for you, not for Dexter. Are you sure? Because I know he's so funny and all that. I'm sure, I said. And he's really not that funny. Connor smiled. I was also thinking maybe you could teach me a little bit on the guitar, see how it goes. I'd love to. My mom and I watched this video online about people with Tourette's and how music can be almost a therapy for them. It can even make them stop ticking while they're doing it. When I told her about you and the guitar, she thought it'd be a great idea for us to work together on it. She really likes you. That's amazing, I said. I mean, about the music, but also about your mom. She's getting involved. Yeah, because I'm letting her. You were right. It's because I'm so smart. I tossed my hair back over my shoulders. Yes, you are, Connor said, even smart enough to be an astronaut. Chapter 37. The morning of the festival, I woke up before it was light out. I had so much to do and couldn't wait to get started. The first thing I did was sit down at my computer and write a blog post. Come to Stagecoach Pass today for our festival. We'll have good food and art and fireworks. It'll be the most fun you've had since the Last Supper. I don't know why it says that. I was frustrated for the first time in a long time at how long it took me to get my jeans on. In my excitement, I kept missing the button with my hook, but I eventually got it and rushed out of the apartment and downstairs. Mom and Dad were already up and out in the park, making sure everything was in order. When Mom saw me, she said, "Get back upstairs and eat some breakfast." "I did," I said. "Liar," she said back. I made my way to the petting zoo to visit Spaghetti. I petted him with my foot and whispered to him, "It's going to be a busy day." He lifted his head and looked at me lazily and laid it back down like he was saying, "Maybe for you." I walked around Stagecoach Pass all morning, trying to be useful, running errands for anyone and everyone, delivering messages and making phone calls. By 9 o'clock, I was lightheaded with hunger, so I sat down with Josephine in the kitchen of the steakhouse and ate a bowl of beans. "Today's your big day," she said. I scooped a spoonful of beans carefully into my mouth, holding the spoon with my toes. "I forgot to ask you about something," I said. "What's that?" "I found an old necklace up on the hill. It's silver with a turquoise stone in it." Was it still up there? We released Avon's ashes at the top of that hill. That was her favorite necklace. So I hung it on a little wooden cross. I figured it'd be long gone by now, probably washed away in a monsoon. Could I see that necklace sometime? Sure. I put down my spoon and pushed the bowl away from me. I better get going. I left the kitchen, hoping that awkward feeling I got around Josephine would go away in time. I walked outside and was disappointed to find people weren't already pouring in at the entrance, and more disappointed that Connor wasn't out there. Around 10 o'clock, a few people trickled in. As the morning went on, the trickle became a steady flow. The Flapjackaroos started playing on the newly cleaned stage around noon. I had no idea what to expect of breakfast entertainers, but they weren't bad. And except for the song about the bacon and eggs Benedict thrown in here and there, they mostly played normal country music. By the late afternoon, the parking lot was fuller than it had ever been. I wandered around enjoying the festival and talking to the vendors about their art. I found Zion and we ate an obscene amount of junk food together in the rodeo area. He was normally so strict about what he ate, so I was glad to see him relax a bit about that. We watched the large group of kids in the petting zoo. Some of them even gave Spaghetti a little attention, though he didn't seem to care much. I introduced Zion to Josephine and Henry, shot a rubber snake at the shooting range, and even stuck my face through a wooden painting of a cactus so Zion could take a picture. And everywhere we went, I looked for Connor. At 6 o'clock, I left Zion and made my way into the apartment to get changed for the evening events. Mom and I had gone shopping together the day before to pick out a new dress for the festival, and she had laid it on my bed, perhaps worried I might pick something else to wear at the last moment. With a thumping heart, I carefully slipped the dress over my head and shimmied it down. tugging at the bottom with my toes. It took me a few minutes to get it all straightened and smoothed out. I stood up and looked at myself in the mirror over my dresser. Mom walked up from behind and put her arms around me. "I like this look on you," she said, "but it's missing something." She pulled a necklace out of her pocket and placed it around my neck. It was the turquoise necklace. I could see that she had had it cleaned and had replaced the chain. "It looks beautiful with your pink dress." "Thanks, Mom. That was so sweet of you to do this for me. You know, this was Avon's favorite necklace." "Was it? Well, then it's extra special, isn't it?" She squeezed my shoulder. I gazed at myself in the mirror, wondering if I was going to go out in front of other people looking like this. "You know," Mom said, "I heard there are a lot of people out there who came today because of your blog." I looked up at her. "My blog?" "Yep, and they said they love it." "I don't know why I don't have anything very interesting to say." Mom cupped my cheeks in her hands. "You, Avon Green, are the most interesting person I know." She kissed me on the nose. As I walked toward the door, she said, "Would you like a sweater, Avon? It might get chilly tonight." I shook my head. My shoulders have been covered long enough. They need to breathe. She walked to me, slipped a finger under one of my spaghetti straps, and snapped it. Yes, they do. The sky looked like cotton candy as I made my way downstairs. I loved all the sounds and smells of the festival. Corn dogs and kettle corn and chili and funnel cakes. Walking over to the Flapjackaroos, I ran into Jessica and a large group of girls from soccer. "You guys came!" I smiled hugely. "This is great, Avon," Jessica said, "and you look amazing." "Thanks." I blushed at the compliment. "You should come watch the music." As they walked behind me, I spotted Zion sitting at a table by himself, munching on a box of popcorn. I walked with the girls over to him and introduced them. He mumbled a hello to the girls as he stared at his feet and tried to hide his popcorn behind his back. I made my way to the stage and stood at the bottom of the steps. When the leader of the Flapjackaroos saw me, he told the audience they had a special accompaniment, and I walked up the stairs to join them. He placed my guitar in front of a chair on the stage for me, and I sat down. But it wasn't my guitar. It was the guitar we had found in the storeroom, hidden under the old desk. It was the guitar that had belonged to my mother. It had been cleaned, repaired, and restrung. I looked out into the audience and saw my parents watching me. Mom put her fingers to her mouth and blew me a kiss. I slipped my feet out from my flowery flats and carefully plucked at a string with one not-so-steady toe.